Good day. I'm Michael Bender from the Center for Fiscal Equity. This is the video version of my written testimony to the Homeland Security Subcommittee of Appropriations in the House. It started out a little controversial. In fact, writing this paragraph is what had me do comments at all this year. So progress toward mitigating climate change is met with resistance at every turn. There's an industry denying its severity and cause, and it is well funded. It is time for those who fund the opposition, but at the same time benefit from mitigation, to have some skin in the game. This can be accomplished with a simple cut in the FEMA budget. Yes, I'm advocating for cutting spending, not increasing it. Hopefully that will be listened to. Cap flood insurance so that people with expensive seaside homes must bear the cost of their opposition. This will force them to pay attention and require that they pay cash for these properties, as private insurance will not cover flood insurance. And you can't get a loan if you don't have flood insurance on the property. With huge national debt levels owed largely by high-end taxpayers and owned, it is time to end a subsidy that solely benefits the wealthy. Flood insurance as a whole would be retained for the middle and working class, but not so much. Not so much in value. This also lowers the cost of beach vacations for the rest of us. From both this year and last year, the matter of appropriations must adapt to the next crisis, and with climate change, there may be many of these. Requirements in excess of normal allocations cannot wait for the political process. When federal disasters have statewide or multi-state impacts, state and local governments cannot wait for grandstanding in the name of deficit reduction to run its course. A separate No-Year Supplemental should be enacted, including the recently created system to reimburse states for lost revenue to prevent the events of the last 9 months of 2021 from occurring. The crisis at the border must not be allowed to continue, nor the insanity of the last administration be allowed to ever recur again. Were it not for the ineptitude of the previous Secretary of State, I would suggest that Customs and Border Protection be transferred to the Department of State so that it would be more seamlessly integrated into our foreign policy. This is Mr. Pompeo that I'm talking about. Such a move would also lead to a cultural change in the Border Patrol, both at home and abroad. Establishing Homeland Security was meant to end siloing. The reorganization has simply put it into the wrong silo. While an appropriation is not the place to direct a comprehensive governmental reorganization, it is the place to study it. Therefore, money should be appropriated to solicit a grant to study the culture of consumer and border CPBs, Border Patrol, include the possible impacts of transferring to the Department of State, including the requiring of changes to the congressional committee structure, including the Appropriations Committee. Any immigration reform must include border security. The proposal to build a wall was devised to compensate for the prior president's cognitive deficits. Some form of security is necessary for both the safety of migrants who would make dangerous river and desert crossings while preserving the ecology and land at the border. An active denial system is superior to any wall. In 2007, Raytheon was tasked with developing non-lethal active denial technology. Raytheon Company delivered its non-lethal active denial system 2 to the U.S. Air Force August 13th of that year. Raytheon's active denial system was designed to use millimeter wave technology to repel individuals without causing injury. The original contract has long since expired because ground commanders in Afghanistan did not wish to use non-lethal systems, although there may be systems going on now. Raytheon has a current one acquisition solution for integrated services OASIS contract, vehicle pool 3 engineering for military and aerospace equipment, and military weapons and engineering for naval architecture. and I've got contact information in the written section. The system will go beyond using surveillance technology to dispatch Border Patrol agents to intercept intruders. It is a virtual wall, and when combined with detection systems, can be powered up as needed to repel unlawful immigration without building a physical barrier or requiring the system to be constantly powered up. Its very existence will deter travel outside of official entry points. The demonstration project could easily be fielded at some point along the border without prior announcement of the test to determine whether the system works as required, including a predicted decline in attempted incursions. This demonstration should be included in this year's appropriation. Immigration reform must also be pursued. The most recent proposals were designed to embarrass the current minority party in the House. Had the proposed legislation been serious, it would not have been so punitive. Had it not been a political stunt, it would have been opposed by progressives. The Senate bill was horrible, the last one that passed. It would also have been costly to implement. CIS could not have easily implemented it. A better option is possible, and it would be cost effective as well. Allow undocumented migrants to apply for the status that fits their circumstances, up to and including permanent residency, without having to meet current lawful status requirements. In other words, you don't have to be currently documented as a condition. Once the status is achieved, allow application for naturalization to proceed in the normal course. To quickly manage the workload, empower local boards of elections to process cases. Then to manage the workload, empower local boards of election to process cases and order national agency background checks with a processing fee not to exceed $500 a person. It should be less punitive. It can be more, it can be less of a fee, but it should be high enough so that the states will want to do it. Election workers could do this. I've got other places where I suggested that that DMV people could help with Social Security. We can, you can pay more bureaucrats at the street level more if you cross-train them a bit, make them more versatile. So so we shall see. The next thing I do in this testimony is to, again, deal with the committee report and budget process issue. There's a link to that on the page and will be in the description. The things that could be regional and state and local would be disaster and flood assistance, Customs and Border Patrol, citizenship services, immigration enforcement. Indeed, most operations in Homeland Security can be identified regionally, except headquarters functions and overseas operations. Explanatory material would address any imbalances in spending, for example, the fact that the southwestern, northern, and coastal areas have the majority of customs service expenses. Although not all. There are other points of entry for bringing imports in. Again, thank you for your time and attention. The usual will be in the description. Please like, share, and comment, and pass this around among other policy professionals who are interested in Homeland Security. There's stuff in here that nobody else says. So I hope I've added value with this testimony and this video. Again, thank you much.